Well, here's another. Oh, wait, you ready? Here's another story I want to tell you about. And this was a lot of fun because we had some cousins lived up the line from us. Every night, my father would play the violin, and the kids would do square dancing. Cousin Albert used to call the numbers while he played the violin. We used to say, swing your partners, one and all. You should have seen us swinging partners. And my mother and Cousin Risa would get in there too, and they'd have a little boy, and of course we'd have one of our little brothers. And we swung partners and danced until about 11 or 12 o'clock at night. And then they would go home. But it was so much fun. It was so much fun. I would wish they had something like that now for the older people to go to, but they don't. It would be nice, wouldn't it?
How are the elders treated differently now than they were when you were growing up?
Well, they didn't have any place to go, so the families would get together, and the kids would be there, and that was the only gathering that they could have, really. Because unless they had an entertainment or dinner or something, and then, like, they would have a dinner. They had societies. St. Francis Society, St. Nicholas Society. I think it was one in St. George's. And they would have that once a year in the summer. I think ours was in July, and St. Nicholas was in August. I forgot when St. Jerome and St. George, and I forgot when theirs would be. But they would, in the summertime, that would be the only way that the elder people could get together and, and have a nice time. But I guess they did like these old people do now. They get together and have what they wanted together. But the kids wouldn't be there. The kids had to stay home wherever, and the older people would get together and have their fun.
What do you think of healthcare issues now, and how they were when you were growing up, as to how people took care of their elderly parents?
Well, they did with what they had. They didn't have too many doctors around. They couldn't get them to the doctor. They would give them their own remedies. And if somebody was sick, the mother or the father would stay home, or, of course, the kids didn't know too much, but somebody would go in and stay with them. Some of the relatives would go in and stay with them if they were so sick that the doctor couldn't get there. But the doctor would have to come in a horse and buggy. They couldn't come. They didn't have a car until cars started. So they'd have to ride around in a horse and buggy. I remember Dr. Brown coming over Mama's house one time, because I don't know who was sick, but anyhow he had to come there, and he was in a horse and buggy. So that's where it used to be. Terrible. But it's much better now. Things are much better.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Blackwell, for the interview.
Okay.